Let's say you're an IT manager at an office or a business or a healthcare facility, for example, and your job is to upgrade your network, say from 1 gigabit to 10 gigabits. And you have a mixture of old network cables, old components, an older part of the building, maybe a newer section of the building, and you're trying to upgrade the complete facility. So how do you know if your installed cables will run at 10 gigabits per second? That's where the NetXpert XG comes in. So it has the ability to do bit error rate tests up to 10 gigabits per second to prove that your network will run at those speeds. So if you have Cat5 connectors at one end, Cat3 jacks on one end of the cable, you're going to be able to run a real throughput test and identify if those cables will run at high speeds. So the way you do this is you'll go to the Tools section of the NetXpert XG just to run the individual tests. So let's run a gigabit per second test on our cable to see if it'll perform at the speed that we need it to perform. So I'm going to selected Tools. I'm at the wire map and margin test. I'm going to select 1 gigabit per second. I need to connect one end of the cable to the local unit. I need to connect the other end of the cable to the remote side. All right, and then I just need to run my test. There's some settings that I can set up if this is a shielded cable, a 2-pair, a crossover cable, or if I want to do continuous testing. I can run a gigabit per second bit error rate test continuously. And just see, if I'm troubleshooting the cable, I'm looking for intermittent problems and that sort of thing. All right, you can see that the test passed. It gave us a green check. It says that this cable will in fact run at 1 gigabit per second. It gave us a wire map. It even checked for the shield. It tells us the length of the cable, skew, signal to noise ratio, and I can print this out to a report. There's also a few other tools on this same menu. So I'll show you port discovery. If I connect up to the network, so I'm now connecting into my LAN, so ports and switches and things. Click on port discovery and hit test. You can also see PoE, so it checks for PoE on the network. So it's linking up to the network. So the port discovery is complete. It's telling us that it was able to link at 1 gigabit. There was no PoE detected. And then some other parameters here. So you can see that it supports gigabit, it supports 100 megabit per second, and that sort of thing. So that's a nice tool just to do a quick port discovery. So we can also do just a BERT test. So earlier we did BERT, signal to noise ratio, skew, wire map. This is a way where you can connect up, run the gigabit per second test, and specify the duration. So if you want this to run for a minute, for an hour, and do a test and see the results, you can do that. There's also a tone generator. So I can use an analog tone generator with the NetXpert XG and identify the cables that you have run. I can also do just a link test. So I can plug into my network and have it link up. Yep. So there you go. So I can see that the link light is active. All right, so that's the tools.